These beautiful sculptures and knots are made entirely of hand-tied paper. No glue, no sticks, no staples. It's better than a bow. It's Mizuhiki, a traditional Japanese form of knot tying used to seal gifts for the Japanese New Year. In this video, I will cover the 1200-year history of Mizuhiki, the symbolism of the different colors and types of knots, and how the elaborate art of Mizuhiki elevates the honor of gift-giving. If you're like me and have any sort of Japanese-based interest, whether it's anime or sushi, and you want to get closer to that interest by learning the Japanese language, then I'd highly recommend you go check out Nihon 123. Nihon123.com gives you the immersive learning benefits of intimate interaction without having to physically be in Japan. It's like getting the opportunity to learn Japanese while roaming the streets with a Japanese friend. There's a link down in the description to Nihon 123, and I highly recommend you go check it out. So although the exact origins of Mizuhiki are a mystery, we do know that before the 9th century at least, red and white hemp cord was wrapped around offerings made to the highest authorities of the time. And then sometime between then and the 12th century, the Mizuhiki paper cord took shape, which is what we now use today. In fact, one of the oldest companies in the world, Genda Shigyo, was founded as a paper production company for these ceremonial paper goods such as Mizuhiki. Now, Genda Shigyo has been around since the year 771, and it's just one of 9 companies in Japan that are over 1,000 years old. There's a video where I describe all of these 1,000-year-old companies and the secrets behind how they were able to last this long. So go check out that video, it's also down in the description. But anyways, back to Mizuhiki, the custom eventually spread from the highest reaches of society down to the pits of poverty, and it became a standard in Japanese gift-giving. Now the symbolism of Mizuhiki is really where the origins are. It's better than a bow. Whereas in the West we use bows and ribbons to beautify our gifts, Mizuhiki is meant to express the feelings of the gift giver to the person they're giving it to. Twisting and tying these knots takes a lot of time. Thus, a precise Mizuhiki reflects that they care for the recipient. But also, Mizuhiki acts as a security system for the gift. The nature of the paper cord used in Mizuhiki is made in a way that once it is folded, it cannot be refolded. Once it is curved, it cannot be uncurved. This ensures that the gift is unopened and sacred until it reaches the recipient. And if there were a security breach in transit, then it will be blatantly obvious because the Mizuhiki has been tampered with. Back to the symbolism, there are 2 types of knots with 2 very different purposes. Musubi kiri is translated as a tough knot that is difficult to untie, and these are used for gifting at events where one might hope does not occur multiple times, such as a wedding or a funeral. These Mizuhiki will use black and white or yellow and white colored cords and an even number of strands. On the other hand, shu musubi, translated as a butterfly knot, are easily untied knots and are used for gifting at events that we happily want to reoccur, such as career milestones or the birth of a baby. In terms of color, red and white or gold and silver colored cords are used for these celebrations, and they will always use an odd number of strands. So lastly, let's look at the process of making one of these Mizuhiki. And now remember, the purpose is to express your care to the gift receiver. Thus, the Mizuhiki master carefully crafts each curve and pass-through with the recipient in mind, slow and intentional with each movement. Although the recipient cannot see this process in action, the moment they receive the gift, they will recognize the attention and affection put into the Mizuhiki and understand the meaning. More recently, artisans in Japan and worldwide have adopted Mizuhiki for a variety of gifts, from jewelry to keychains to home decor and ornaments. And while they may not know the recipient that they are designing this Mizuhiki for, they are spreading this beautiful art form and bringing meaning back to gift giving.